Hey guys, it's been a while since I've done an update, and I thought I'd hop on here and do a quick update for how our school year's going. I've received some messages and stuff, and just figured I would go ahead and update. Hopefully, this won't be very long. Um, yeah. For those who haven't seen my other videos and stumble upon this, I am a homeschooling mom of two boys. I have a almost 11-year-old and a just turned 6-year-old. So Oliver is my oldest, and he is technically like fifth grade, but he's really doing fourth grade level. He has some learning disabilities. I have other videos kind of going into detail on that. But he's got ADHD and dyslexia and dysgraphia and dyscalculia and slow processing. He also has sensory issues and generalized anxiety disorder and some other things. So he's just a quirky, um, atypical kiddo, and he's the reason we homeschool. So my youngest, um, Finn, does not have any learning disabilities that we're aware of. He just turned 6, so that could change. We actually did just recently have him evaluated for some different things. And one of the things that we found out was that he is very gifted with math in particular and like visual, spatial, I forget the actual subtest, it's the title of it. But anyway, he's good at like blocks and building things and manipulating things and mazes and patterns and things like that. So that was really interesting to find out. And he may or may not also have ADHD. He's not particularly hyper, but yeah, he can. He's like a quirky, gifted kid. So yeah, we kind of have two ends of the spectrum. So we have one kid, Oliver, struggles a lot. His real struggle areas are math, writing, and spelling. And his reading has really improved over the last years or two, especially in the last year. He's still probably a little behind grade level, but it's just so immensely better than what it used to be. His spelling actually recently has really improved as well. So math for him, because I get asked this. This is probably the most like asked question I get is, what math did we finally settle on for him? Are we still using Singapore? Is it still working, etc., etc.? Do we still like it? So I wanted to address that in this video. We use primarily Singapore for both kids. Oliver uses the second grade level, or yeah, it's level 2B that he's on. And this funny. Now I can't remember. Anyway, he's on the second level. We kind of like are all over the place. I have learned that because I have such a range. So like I said, Oliver has a lot of deficits and a lot of struggles. Okay, his IQ is fine. Like he's completely good there. He just really struggles to like understand and conceptualize things, and math in particular. Um, and so he may be like, for example, totally fine in multiplication or totally fine with fractions of all things, but he really struggles with subtraction or division or whatever. So it's like we're kind of all over the place. We can't really follow a curriculum to the letter where like we go through it super chronologically, and I have gotten so many comments about like whether that's right or wrong, like to kind of flip through things and pick and choose, and to each their own. Now Finn is the opposite. He is very advanced with math, so for him, we just go at his level. And again, we try to kind of follow chronologically and use it as a spine, but some of the stuff I'm pulling out of like third grade books, and some of it is first grade. So it's and he's technically kindergarten. So whatever. We just kind of do what I feel like they're ready for, and we slow down where needed, and we just pick and choose things. I totally make the curriculum work for me. I don't work for the curriculum. So again, we use Singapore as our spine, and we get, I kind of flip through it. I find what I feel like they need to be working on, and we work on that. Um, and it's working well. We love Singapore. Finn is also, so he's my just turned 6 year old. He's technically kindergarten. And he is doing level 2 primarily for Singapore as well. We add in some harder stuff. We add in some easier stuff. I don't know. We just do kind of a mix. But in general, he's working his way through level 2. Ollie is also working his way through level 2. Yes, they are like 5 years apart and they're on the same level. That's just how this is working, and it's going well. Oliver is also doing um, what's it called, touch math. So we did touch math solely, touch math for the over the summer, and it's their level, I think 2. I think that's as high as I saw it went to. But anyway, and he's partway through that, and then we started adding the Singapore back in the fall, like in September, and we still do touch math some too. I felt like he needed to beef it up a little, so he's been doing Singapore with it, and that's been going great. We also have times tables to work on his multiplication facts. We really haven't like done a whole lot with that. We do our own multiplication and stuff, but I really need to just commit to that and like do it. I just haven't done it yet. I don't know why, but we have it. It's there. We're gonna do it at some point this year because I've heard great things about it. So that will be happening at some point in the near future. And yeah, I think that'll be. I'm excited to see about it. So that's kind of our math update, and it's going well. He's making good progress. Finn's making great progress. I'm happy with where we're at. For language arts, we are still using the good and the beautiful. I have not changed from that. I'm using the good and the beautiful level K, yes, with Finley. And he's like a third of the way through it or something like that, or a quarter of the way. Yeah, he's a quarter of the way through it. So that's going great. He's doing really well. That's like meeting him right at his level so far. We've not hit any big bumps with it or anything. So that's going well. I did start off last year. We used All About Reading. In January, we started All About Reading level 1. We got halfway through that, or over halfway through that, and stopped. And he really just wasn't enjoying it. I used All About Reading with Oliver as well. We did level 1 and level 2. And there were parts of it he kind of liked, but there was a lot of it he hated. We didn't know at the time he had dyslexia, which is supposed to be a good curriculum for dyslexia. And I don't know what about, it was just difficult. The readers were way advanced for him. It moved too quickly. They've kind of done that with Finn too, where he's gotten to the point where they're just kind of a lot for him, and he gets kind of frustrated with it. So we just backed off. I had the Good and the Beautiful level K like ready to go for when we finished All About Reading, because that's what I did with Ollie, and it worked well. And we just jumped into it, and he likes that so much better. So he does really well with it. He's made a lot of progress with his reading, and he just enjoys it a lot more. So we're sticking with that. I like it. It's open and go. So that has been our language arts. I've used the Good and the Beautiful forever. I think Ollie was, I don't know, second grade. I think he was second grade. So it's been at least 3 years, that maybe 4. I don't know. I can't remember. It's been at least 3 years that we've been using it. And I highly recommend it. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but it works well for us. So that's what we use primarily. Oliver, I do supplement some. He's got the Michael Clay Thompson grammar. It's like Grammar Island, and it's a really neat program. It's pretty expensive. I got it knowing that I was investing in it and that I could use it for Finn also. But it is really an interesting approach to grammar, and I've really enjoyed it so far, and so has Oliver. So we just add that in. We do that at least 1 to 2 days a week on top of his regular language arts. So that's been good. We've been enjoying that. And I'm trying to think. For handwriting, we use the Good and the Beautiful. For penmanship, for both kids, that's going really, really well. Pretty cut and dry. Uh, yeah. Science for Ollie, I'm doing nothing because he goes to a Waldorf program every morning, 5 days a week, and they cover a lot of science and nature topics, especially nature. But they're even learning about volcanoes, tectonic plates, whatever, and they cover a decent amount of social studies and history. So I'm a big history person. I go kind of crazy with history curriculum. So we have a history curriculum, but we really haven't gotten into it much with him because he goes to school half the day, now comes home, and then we hit all the basics, and then he's kind of wore out. We added in typing this year, so he's been doing typing in the evenings, and for his level and his attention level, that's plenty. Like he just, that's all we can do. We do math, language arts, writing, and typing, and we're just leaving science and history to his school. For Finley, I am just doing unit studies, which is what I did for Ollie in kindergarten. It's working super well. He's loving it. We did a fall unit study, and that was great. And now we're doing a Thanksgiving unit study, and he's just soaking everything in. Like he just loves it so, so, so much. So I make my own unit studies. We get books from the library. I have quite the collection. You can probably see it's a lot of books. So I have like several that we own and we've gone through before, and I just pull out the ones at his level and we work through those. We've done some crafts and that kind of thing. But that's kind of my plan for him for science and social studies. We just go through unit studies based on the season and the holidays and things like that. And that works really well. For kindergarten, you don't need to be, like heavy on any of that. So just interest led, and that works well. We have some science kits and stuff we go through and stuff just for fun. And that's been great. So I think the year is actually going really well. I feel like more settled this year by far than I felt last year. I felt last year I had a lot of health issues, so that was part of it. Um, this year just feels like everything's kind of fell into place more, and we're in a good rhythm, and I'm happy with what we're doing. Finn has also, a side note, Finn has also started piano lessons. That's going really well. And he does Spanish as well, just a couple times a week, and he loves it. Ollie did it a little bit over the summer, but Finn's the one who's really like interested in it, so we've stuck with it for him. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. I just wanted it on here because people keep asking me like how it's going. They're like, oh, my kid recently got diagnosed with dyslexia and dyscalculia and whatever too, and you know what are you guys using? What didn't end up working? And just because it works for us, it doesn't mean it'll work for anybody else. This is just obviously our situation, and what works best for me to teach as well, because that's important too. I I have a certain teaching style that I do better with, so it's hard when you have two kids who are like complete opposite ends of the spectrum as far as like their academics go. So it's been really interesting and challenging to kind of navigate that. But I feel like we're in a good place. We've got a good rhythm. I'm already stressing about next year because Ollie, I don't think will be going to the Waldorf school just because I think he ages out. So I am a little nervous because I use that time to do school with Finn, and that has just worked really well. And yeah, and Ollie really enjoys that social outlet, so he'll have to be doing something, and I haven't quite figured that out yet, but I still have a lot of time, but it's stressful. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at, but I'm enjoying the stage and the peace I'm having at home right now, um, and feeling like I'm kind of getting to everybody and giving them their own attention. That's been really good because Finn's ready for a break by the time Ollie comes home, and they play together for like an hour, and then Finn does quiet time and plays on his own, which he's really ready for, and Oliver is ready to kind of buckle down for an hour or so, hour and a half, and do our school at home. So it's been working well. So anyway, I just want to jump on. I hope everybody's doing well, and that the school year is going well. And if you guys have any more questions, feel free to comment or send me a message. So, and I'll get on here when I can. Bye.